Big news for the Noles as they pick up two big-time commitments out of the transfer portal on Saturday, landing four-star transfer defensive back Errol Little Jr. from Alabama, along with four-star wide receiver Jaylen Brown from LSU. Now, if you're thinking those two names sound familiar, it's because those were two guys that Florida State recruited very heavily out of high school and finished close with, but both kids ultimately ended up choosing to go elsewhere. So you got to love a full circle moment like this, and it's actually one of the things that this staff does really, really well in maintaining relationships with these kids and not burning bridges during the initial recruitment because, especially in today's college football landscape, you never know when these kids can hop in the portal and become available again. Now, with Errol Little, he was a member of the 2022 recruiting class. He's from American Heritage High School, and Pat Surtain was actually his head coach at the time, and now as the DB's coach at Florida State, which I definitely think makes this a no-brainer for the kid. Not only having familiarity throughout this whole coaching staff from the recruitment process, but also being coached by Pat Surtain in high school. And now you add in the development aspect that Pat Surtain brings to the table. So I think it's just a perfect fit for both sides in this one. It sounds to me like Florida State is recruiting him to play either slot corner or the safety position. He can navigate the field really, really well and reads plays quickly like a safety does, but also has fluid hips to play corner. So either way, he could be a very versatile player in that secondary. I had a pretty good feeling about this one when it was announced that he entered the portal and almost immediately scheduled a visit to Tallahassee. He's also good friends with Marvin Jones Jr., who the Noles just added to the roster as well. So all the way around, just awesome to see these relationships keep paying off. Patterson continues to be a home run hire and continues to recruit that DB position at an elite level. And a great time for it, too, as Florida State is looking to fill a few holes after losing Jarian Jones and Renardo Green to the NFL. That's two of your starting corners, so you love to add some depth there with talented guys that have multiple years of eligibility left. Now, Jaylen Brown, the wide receiver from LSU, was a kid in the 2023 recruiting cycle, so a very recent name in recruitment. Again, one that Florida State was super involved in out of high school, and I even thought at one point would land his commitment, but he ultimately ended up choosing LSU instead. But now I think he's seen more of a proven product on the field, and especially in this offense. You obviously see the success at the wide receiver position these last couple of years for Florida State. Guys like Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson. On top of, like we said, just maintaining relationships with these kids so that they always feel comfortable with the staff. I really, really like this pickup. He is a bit smaller. He's about 6'1", 175 pounds, but he's very, very fast. He was a regional champ track star in high school, made all kinds of watch lists and awards, second-team All-American. I think he'll fit very, very well in this offense, and I think this also goes hand-in-hand with the perceived game plan with DJU at quarterback. We all know he likes to throw deep, and he's good at it, so having speedy receivers that can stretch the field plays right into that. So I'd keep an eye out for some more big plays out of this offense in 2024, adding a quarterback with a big arm and an absolute burner at wide receiver. This also helps fill some holes this year, too. Florida State had two of the top receivers in college football in Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson, who both had a ton of production for the Noles in 2023, but both have since declared for the NFL draft. So Florida State is definitely looking to add some more talent and depth to that room. Again, really good get for the Noles here. And I want to give a big shout out to Ron Dugans and Pat Surtain. A couple of years ago, wide receiver recruiting and defensive back recruiting specifically were dreadful and among the worst in the Power 5. Since then, we've seen a drastic turnaround there, stacking elite talent and development at key positions. I would also look for Florida State to take a couple more players here. I'm hearing that Devonte Brown, a transfer DB from Miami, could be a name to watch. And that's also another one that Florida State was involved in last cycle with both him and his brother Damari. I also believe Florida State is still involved with Evan Stewart, who I think could be another huge addition to the wide receiver room. But even if it's not Evan, I believe that they'd take at least one more receiver. We'll just kind of have to see how it all shakes out with the visits and what names may jump in that second portal window in May. Either way, though, the portal is finally starting to heat up for Florida State, who now has 4 transfer commits in DJ Uiagalelei, Marvin Jones Jr., Jaylen Brown, and Errol Little Jr., all of which are 4-star commits. So an elite group that they're putting together so far, filling positions of need, and I don't think they're even close to done yet. I can honestly see them taking at least 4 to 5 more guys. So keep an eye out for some more commitments, and definitely keep you guys updated on names to watch, commits, and all that good stuff. So you definitely want to make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep up with it all. Plus, it helps me out a ton. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for all the support. It really means a lot. And I'm sure we'll be back soon with some more good news and some more commitment videos. But until then, go Noles.